Yo, what's Gucci guys? So today I want to do Squid Game survival tier list with the MBTI types. Now, down the line, I also want to do the Enneagram types. There's 27 subtypes. I want to do the MBTI ones because I want to claim it, okay? Because at some point, maybe someone will come along doing the same video, but instead of putting INTJ at the bottom, they'll put it at the top. There's clear intuitive bias that exists in the MBTI community. They fucking get glazed. So there's me to put them where they belong, aka at the bottom. This game is not about strategic or long-term thinking, at least in terms of playing it. We do know that physicality is a big component of those games, right? So that we already know is an important factor. Then we also know this game is quite social, meaning creating connections and being good in those kind of situations is also helpful. First, we have the ENFJ, and I've actually put it here. And I know it's a hyper-glazed individual. This is someone who, in fact, struggles with the physical world. This is not someone who is, oh my god, I can do anything, I'm a warrior. No. You can make an argument that maybe they're social, but listen, the arrogance of the ENFJ can mislead them. And people might not follow them, you know, so that can be a problem. And again, just having that high NI and in general, it's just not helpful. Then I would say ENFP would probably come after that. Some might argue that it should be like this even, but I'm gonna put ENFP here, right? Socially, they can excel. They can see potential in people. They know who they should be close to. They're like Don Juans. They can make people like them. So there's someone who's very adaptable socially, very smooth socially, right? But very chaotic. Then we have the INFJ, and I would put INFJ and still might make it, but I would put them as last. You can even say maybe, are you even trying? Because NI dominant, to be honest with you, being NI dominant has no benefit in this game. And having dogshit as C, that's a decapitation on sight. Having dogshit TE, decapitation on sight. I think the best case scenario is that they maybe manipulate some relations, maybe manipulate some people. Now we have the INFP, which is, are you even trying? This is basically the closest we get to decapitation possible. Dogshit SC, dogshit TE, they're too rigid, they are too inflexible. They die, man. They die. ENTJ, that's gonna be controversial, but we are doing anti-ENTJ glaze. ENTJs are not commanders. ENTJs are not alpha sigmas. They're more nerdy than you think. E-dominance is quite helpful, which is why they still made that far, right? They know how to make sense of the games. They know what kind of decisions to make, maybe organize people, the methodology of action. They kind of have it handled very well. So they're adaptable in that sense, helpful. NI doesn't help them at all, but them struggling with the physical environment and the physical components of the game is a big problem, because they can think, they can outsmart maybe, but planning is not going to do shit, because the fact is, you don't know the game. You get introduced to the game and they tell you the rules of the game. You have maybe a minute, you have 2 minutes to adapt to the game. ENTJ is no such individual that's able to do that. Death by decapitation. I don't need to say anything. Now, I know that there will be some fucking proclaimed INTJs, which I had many in my actually comment section coming to me. You don't understand INTJs. We're not passive. Actually, we're fucking aggressive when we want. You're not an INTJ. You're a cosplayer. And this channel is not a cosplay dress-up convention. NI dominant doesn't do shit for you. Zero social skills doesn't do shit for you. Complete detachment doesn't do shit for you. This is even worse than the INFJ, which had the actual social skills and ability to maneuver social situations and manipulate people. This shit doesn't have anything. Then we have the INTP, and I actually do believe it would do a bit better than the INTJ. TI dominant helps. They're more, I think they're more present-minded than the INTJ. Now, in the MBTI world, the ENTP is worse than the ENTJ. But in reality, the ENTP is much more flexible, much more adaptable, much more a spontaneous individual who's actually, unironically, more concrete and less idealistic than the ENTJ. Because any dominant can actually look pretty concrete, can actually look pretty grounded in that sense, and they're very oriented towards the present moment. They can be. The ESTP does everything that the ENTP does, but in this game they do it better. This is someone who can understand logic and play around with logic, someone who's very practical, pragmatic, just like the ENTP, someone who knows how to make the right decisions, right? Who's good under pressure, can still mingle with people, might kind of be a bit aggressive, and that's the downfall. They are, after all, very physical. So physicality is their prime focus here, which in a sense Squid Game has a lot of. ESTJs have the T dominance just like the ENTJ, but they have an advantage. They're sensoric. They're a sensoric type. They're much more physically capable, much more physically aggressive, right? Physically confident, which is what you need. They're more likely to excel at making decisions in the moment. They can organize people. They can be a good leader. Then we have the ISTP, and I'd still say it has to be better than the ENTJ. It's still someone who is systematic. It's someone who's still very present-oriented. Someone who is very physically capable. And as long as you have that, you have someone who's very systematic, very logical, understands complex problems. Then we have the ISFP, and I would think it would do kind of similar to the ISTP. The difference is they would do a bit better because they are ethical type. Those types are very inflexible. ISTP is very inflexible. And I would put ESFP actually here. More average looking at their capabilities, what they're good at, what they excel at. They should be pretty good at Squid Game. They have what the ESTP does. They have the physical fucking adaptability in the moment. But second, they have second superpower, which is the ability to sway people's sentiments towards their own. They can influence people. They can become friends with specific people. They know how to gain influence. And they can turn other people against one another. So the desires of the ESFP will end up being the desire of everyone else. To you reading this, right? Ease game. How is ISTJ the ease game? When we look at ISTJ, we're not thinking, don't think of it like an LSI. This is not an LSI. Look at the functions. SIT. That is an SLI in socionics. And in my opinion, they will crush everyone. Amazing, physically amazing, very adaptable, easygoing. They're liked. People think they're sigmas. People think they're cool. So in that way, it's enough for people to go along with them, or them go along with other people. Increases their chances of survival. And having this kind of very logical, very calm under pressure, very phlegmatic predisposition, that already makes them, in sense, much more capable for this game. You need to be calm, you need to be controlled in that sense, right? So that is helpful. Then we have the ISFJ, and I'm actually going to put it that you consider playing Squid Game. ISFJ, I think, is going to go very high in general, because once again, physicality helps. Concrete, physical, but another thing, they are very good with people, very likely to be accepted by different groups. Even when people will start creating cliques, it's not hard for this individual to blend in. It's not hard for this individual to influence people, right? To be charming, to be kind of likable. That already is a big thing, and they need to be, and probably here, honestly. ESFJ would be better than ISFJ, mainly because more likely to be able to enforce their will on their environment. They are all about making people feel a certain way. They can sway people's emotions however they want. They want to make you feel sad, they'll make you feel sad. They want to make you feel happy, they can cheer everyone up. So this is my tier list for the Squid Game survival. Comment down below, I'm very curious, what would you do with this list? And anyway, I'm out, I'm Chaos, and I'm bouncing.